And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Many people like the very popular game called Catchphrase. Well, there is now a Star Wars Catchphrase that is out. This one is out for the new movie, Force Awakens, coming out December 2015. So I guess if you don't like this game, at least you can fly the Millennium Falcon around. Now, many people have liked electronic catchphrase better than actual catchphrase. Well, that makes sense because you kind of have the whole game here. You don't need anything else other than this. Let me give you a bit of how it works. So here's the device, which looks like a toy Millennium Falcon. Hooray! Got to put batteries in it to get it to work, and then you turn it on. Alright, so the way this works is first you pick your difficulty, Apprentice or Jedi Master. Of course, I know what I'm doing with Star Wars, so I'm going to pick Jedi Master. And then you're going to put everyone around the table, and you're going to start. To start the game, you simply hit this button, and you'll hear a timer going. Now this timer is going to go, and it's going to get faster and faster and faster. It is a 60-second timer, and on your turn, you are trying to get someone to guess the words on here. So I would say, hey, this is the guy who was Lando's co-pilot when he took out the Death Star in the Millennium Falcon in Return of the Jedi. Well, of course, hopefully you would know that, because otherwise I have no idea how to give this word to you. I say, well, the second word is, if your arm is just got stung by a bee, it feels what? That's the first part sounds like a German word for no. And you're trying to get people to guess it. If they guess it, you hit next, and you give it to the next person. So I'm just going to show you some of the different things it has on here. Imperial Fleet, 1983, producer, Christopher Lee, Gentleman Waste, core generator. So, alright. Well, there's Chewbacca roaring, so that means the round is over. Now, once you guess the word, you pass it to the next team, and then they do it and you go back. When Chewbacca runs, the team who is not holding the Millennium Falcon gets a point. If they can then guess the clue that the opposing team was trying to guess as they held the Millennium Falcon, they get another point. The first person to get to 7 points is the winner of the game. And then you just keep going back and forth. Now, a couple other things. I'll show you what the Apprentice difficulty looks like. So here you can see Gungan, Jango Fett, use the Force Luke. It's still very Star Wars, you see. Not everything is Star Wars, right? Diplomatic is not necessarily Star Wars. It comes from Star Wars, but it doesn't necessarily come exactly from Star Wars. Hey, Disney! Thank you, old Master for Overlords. Anyhow, the game is just played that way. You're not allowed to say words that rhyme with the word or spell it out. You're not allowed to use pantomime. You're just allowed to give some sort of verbal clues that don't use the word itself. Now, the electronic catchphrase here, this works, and this is a neat idea, and I like it, and I think they have a good selection of words. I've gone through many, I don't know how many words are in here, but there's got to be a lot, because I've gone through this, and I haven't seen any repeats yet. And I think that's good. I don't know if they're in a list, if they're random. I don't know how they're picking them, but there's a good selection of words. And I think Apprentice level is good for most people because it has most of the stuff that you know about Star Wars, and even words that, like I said, that, you know, as I click here, and look, bodyguard, that's something that could be in anything. While Dantooine is only going to be Star Wars. The Rebellion, tow cables, cantina, damage, furry, battle, Order 66. It would be something very specific to Star Wars. Now here's the problem that I had with this game. I really like it. It's fun. You're trying to get your teammates to guess. They're guessing wrong. You're going crazy. You pass it to the next person. But what happens is the timer is 60 seconds. So it's a very specific timer. And you can, if you want to, deliberately go slow on your clue, and then at the very last second, hand it off to the next team. They get a chance to look at their clue, but before they can do anything else, time runs out, and then you get a point. And that's problematic. Now that's a kind of a jerky way to play, but this can also happen unintentionally. I could be sitting there trying really hard to get my team to get the clue, and they're taking forever, and finally, at the last second, they get the clue, and we hand it to the other team, and then we get the point. And it's not their fault that we got the point. It's our fault because we took almost all the time. I would almost rather you get a point for everyone you get correct, which would make you want to go quickly. Whoops, press start again. There's no off button on here, and I have to unscrew it to get the batteries out. I should stop touching it. But I think you should either get a point for each one that you say, or it would be better if this thing had a random timer and you never knew when it was going to go off. Now, it doesn't have a random timer, so I think I would play this where each team gets a point for each one they get correct. And you're still going as fast as you can, because the faster you go, the more that you'll get correct. It does take away that whole, Chewbacca's going to roar. Now, you can play this way. Just be warned, there's going to be times where you're going to have it handed to you, and you're like, oh, it's this word here, and this is one of the planets, and boom, the time will run out. And no one has a chance to guess it, and you guys don't get a point. That was the complaints that I got from this, but other than that, people really did like it. I think if you're even a minor Star Wars fans, this is a fun version of Catchphrase that you'll like. There's just that one tiny problem, which I think can be fixed by players saying, just keeping track, getting 1 point for everyone they get correct. Dice Tower Judgment, approved! Oh, again?
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!